Alright, first of all, I want to apologize for any wind noise and the shaky camera. I'm doing this just on a phone, and if you watch regularly, which is, I've got like one or two that do, which is crazy, thank y'all. At least I think I do. Like to think so. But anyway, sorry for the shaky camera. I'm doing this just on a phone. But with that being said, this is my 1994 Cadillac DeVille again. I've done put air in the tires and moved it. I went over all the problems that was wrong with it. The main reason I don't drive it right now anymore is the transmission will not shift into drive. I think you can shift this car manually with the normal gear selector, but basically all this video is going to say is, nobody cares, but I'm going to say it anyway. Why I even keep this car around. Because, by all honesty, this thing is a piece of junk. It runs good. Well, used to run good. I mean, it still does. It just, I don't consider it running if it can't even go on the road no more because the trans is out. But the only reason I keep this car around, basically, is because I have sentimental attachment to it. This car was my very first car, which I say it like that, but that really wasn't that long ago. I got this car when I was about 16. I'm only 19 now, so really wasn't that long ago. Got it about 11th grade, 10th grade, something like that. It had sat for 2 years on the concrete slab that the 720 is, it's very blurry, that the 720, that little thing you can see right over there, right behind the Caprice, is sitting at, which, again, that needs the transmission in it, but that's my dad's truck. He hadn't had time to work on it yet, and I don't know what I'm doing to fix it for him. So I don't want to tear nothing up, so that's why I hadn't helped much. Well, this car, basically all I was saying about it is I keep it around because like I said, I have sentimental attachment to it. Very first car, and I grew up in the back seat of this car. It's part of the reason it's in the condition it's in. My family originally bought this thing for like $2,000, like when I was in like 3rd grade. I think. And it was in way nicer shape than this. It had about 100,000 less miles on it because right now, as it sits, it is at 256,420 miles. And I'm going to open the door because it's a little hot. This car does not have AC in it. And I bought it and drove it around for a little while. My mom originally didn't want the car until she well, she originally didn't want the car, but then we took it through the car wash and she got to drive it once, so she fell in love with it. So they had it for about 5-6 years. We bought that Tahoe over there because this one, I forget what happened to it, but something broke on it. And we parked it on the slab, and it sat on the slab for like 2 years. Well, I got my driver's license, and I had to pick in between a 1990 Geo Metro with the 5-speed, 3-cylinder, 5-speed. I like that car too, but, you know, you got to keep in mind, I was like 15, which, again, not that long ago. I talk like it's a really long time ago. It really wasn't. And it was either this Cadillac, which I already liked, but this car has a 4.9 liter V8. It's front wheel drive, but it's a V8. So it was either a 1.0 liter 3-cylinder or a 4.9 liter V8. I went with the V8. So we fixed whatever was up with that, and I really like the Metro. I still miss that car because I somewhat learned how to drive stick in it. I don't really know completely how to drive it. I'd like to learn, but we don't have anything that runs that stick right now. So we got rid of that car, sold the little Metro, and got this thing running up and driving. And I started driving around in it. This car, again, It really belongs to the scrapyard, but I only keep it because I have sentimental value to it. And, well, I killed I killed the battery. Oh. Yep, battery's dead. Well, never mind. I let it sit for too long, I thought. Oh, well. I'll have to charge up the battery to start it again. Well, it does run and drive. I was going to start it. I have another video that I'm going to post with this one. That's an exhaust clip. I was going to show under the hood. Show you that it's dirty. I put a Flowmaster Series 40 on it, I believe. Just because the old pipe was like, it ran over a hay bale or something, and it was already super rusty, so it put a hole through it. But yeah, this used to be I dropped the keys. This used to be the road trip car, and the car we'd drive around in all the time. So I have sentimental attachment to it. It's been in the family for like 12 years, and I plan to restore it. But there it is, the V8 port fuel injection, exclusive for Cadillac 4.9 liter. This car's been on the road ever since '94, and it's seen better days. I try my best to take care of it, but it has been heavily abused. I do plan to restore the car. Some of the things I'm going to do to it when I get around to it, I have to finish that right there, and then my trailer I'm fixing. But some of the things I was going to do to this car when I fix that and get ready to move into there and have all that finished is I was going to get this car, of course, first. I got to fix the transmission. I would think the actuators might have gone bad in it because I put air in it to start it. I was going to show you what it does. It'll go into drive, but it won't go nowhere in the drive, but you have to shift it manually in the low gears. So 1, 2, 3, overdrive. Move forward there and it'll go in reverse. It just won't go into drive anymore. So I believe it's one of the actuators. Don't know for sure. Whatever it is, I don't have the tools to get to it, so I'm gonna have to take it to a shop. And that's gonna be a really expensive job, and it's gonna take forever. So I just bought you can't see it, so I'm not even gonna bother showing it. The little Riata I show off in some of the videos. I love that little car too. It's just not like this car. I like this car. Honestly, I like the little Riata, but I like this car better. For no other reason than I just like this car better. I have no good reason to. Now, I think I talk about the specs all the time, but this thing had 200 horsepower, 300 foot-pounds of torque, at like, I think, 2100 RPM. It's a very low-living V8. Its red line's only 5,000. Or not 5,000, but like 4,000. It'll red line at 4. It's its red line. 0 to 60 in 10 seconds, quarter of a mile in, I want to say it was 14. And back in the 80s, these motors could actually run with, like, the Camaros. Now, they had to be bone stock Camaros. They had to be, like, very basic option-out Camaros. And they would out-accelerate the Camaro, but the Camaro would normally pick up, pass them after accelerating it. And it would outbeat a Mustang. It'd beat a 5.0 Mustang. 94 now, The North Star would, but not the 94. 4.9 base liter. It wouldn't even come close. I guess since I killed the battery, I'll show you the dirty trunk that I have a lot of stuff in it that I was going to use, that I have some stuff, leftover stuff from the big block I'm putting together back here. It's dirty. This car is just like I parked it yesterday. It's always been in bad shape. Well, it's not always. It's been in bad shape since I got a hold of it. Sat for 2 years. And as you can see, these trunks are absolutely huge. Here's one of the valve covers to the big block I found out I couldn't use because I got a roller. There's the radio out of the Tahoe. I changed that radio out and, you know, put an aftermarket Kenwood Echelon. Very first thing I bought with, you have to slam the trunk. Very first thing I bought with my own money from a job other than the Caprice. The very first thing I bought with that. Oh, and it still does have the owner's manual with it. It's missing the leather sleeve, but it does have the owner's manual. Or, I'm sorry, excuse me. Cadillac DeVille. Owner's literature. In the 80s, it was actually like let's say it's an 88. 1988 is actually spelled out. It says the year 1988. It's so stupid. What's another thing about this car? Oh yeah, something I wanted to show you. There's something I want to show off in this manual. It's so dumb. For Cadillac owners who prefer, for Canadian Cadillac owners who prefer a French language manual. But, yeah, and excuse the car for being dirty. Again, I haven't drove it for like 4 or 5 months now. It broke a little while ago. I can't believe it. I can't believe I left the key in the ignition for too long. And the battery died on me. I'll try one more time. No, it's dead. It's dead. Oh well, whatever. So yeah, that's just my story of why I won't get rid of the Cadillac. I'm sure nobody cares, but if you did, and you like that story, I'll tell you some more stories about the cars I own. Just let me know if you want to hear more about them. And if you like this video and you made it this far, you at least like hearing me talk. Please tell me what you think of it. If you want to support the channel, if you liked it, please consider subscribing. That's the biggest help you can do. Commenting, liking, and sharing the video with people. That's the biggest way you can support the channel. Because, A, I'm too small to start up a Patreon, nor am I ever going to do that. I don't ever want to start one of those. If for some reason I started making money here, it would be due to like ad revenue and probably merchandise. But I don't ever want to do a Patreon. I hate Patreon. I hate it. I don't know why people give to people. You're begging for money. But I'm too small to think of any of that right now. I'm just sharing stories as a hobby. So, if you want to support the channel, just like, comment, and subscribe, and share. Sorry for having this outro be way too long. Anyway, have a good one.